deep, stay in the grace, our creek balance. Thought split the sea, don't stream. In a world of black and white, we seek to blend. Understand both sides, let the truth transcend. Stay in the gray where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride. A long time ago we started stumbling. Feels like this country's crumbling. The government is fumbling. A Congress that is bumbling. Sides are always arguing. They all could use some humbling. And stop the world from tumbling. Rebuild the trust is plummeting. If ideas would start bubbling, our rapids could be doubling. And chaos would start slumbering. And people resume huddling. And talk about the trouble and concerns. We're always juggling. Cooperate while snuggling. And quit the useless struggling.
Let me clear my throat and welcome all of you.
Let me clear my throat.
To the, I don't know that song. We're going to move on. Welcome everybody to the new studio. It is not fully put together, but you can see all my shit and, Trey will have some stuff finally. The biggest thing that I've already regret is putting Trey in a comfortable chair.
Recliner.
Because he may very well fall asleep during this all the political stuff or whatever.
Only when you're going off on political bullshit. That's when I'm.
All right. Well, let's try not to bore you too much.
Well, let's start with one of my headlines. Then.
Headline. All right. So welcome. Here's the new studio. Excited to have it.
This one just kind of screamed to us a little bit, I think. So this headline states that a pantless driver.
Sure.
Dies after being ejected through his sunroof, which that's got to suck in itself. Wow.
Just picture like Top Gun, you hit an eject button, but you're saying...
He didn't hit an eject button. This is what he did.
Okay.
He was masturbating to porn on a cell phone when the car crashed and rolled over.
Oh, man, Trey, you've got to be careful.
That's terrible, isn't it?
On the way home, you got to be careful.
Pantsless.
This could happen. So they found, basically what you're telling me is they found him with no pants on.
No pants on, and of course, it's like, why pants off for the jerk? Seems so much smarter just to go dick out.
Yeah.
Not that this dude seems a whole lot of forward thinking. And then, of course, the main question was, did he finish? Right?
Well, I'm going to say either he did and that's what caused it, or the poor bastard died and never got that final.
But there was one more comment that he died doing what he loved.
Well, that's true.
So.
That's true. Good for him and bad for him at the same time. I have started doing headlines because I'm jealous. My headline says, Farmer Bill dies in a house. And that's the headline.
That was
so
the headline.
We'll move on. It literally is a headline. I'm not joking.
You can do better than that.
No, I like that headline. Farmer Bill. Poor Farmer Bill.
Keep it short, sweet. To
Farmer
the
Bill is now dead. I don't know how or anything. You want to know about Farmer Bill? I got nothing.
You look it up.
All I know is he's croaked. Let's go into butthurt comments because it's kind of a topic we're going to go.
This is your favorite part of the show, the butthurt comment. It screams you.
Every week I say I'm going to work on my responses and not be as not mean, but just
hasn't worked
not.
Yet.
No, I'm just so. Excuse me. There may be some technical stuff tonight. We're getting used to this shit, people. So calm down.
Calm down.
Let's just start. Elon Musk, we all know, and happened. I love Elon.
Tesla.
I like him more now that he's endorsed Donald Trump, but I always thought he was kind of brilliant. And unlike some of these other guys like Zuckerberg, he kind of lucked out with Facebook and. You know what I mean? Some of these other guys.
Did he luck out?
I don't know, but I don't know. Cuban, some of these guys that
lucked out.
They just sold something and got lucky for the amount that they sold it for. I don't know. Either way, I admire Elon for his innovation, and so he put out a poll on X. I don't know if you heard about it.
He put his poll out on X?
He put his poll out, and this one you could vote on a poll. And he simply said, since a lot of people have asked me, here goes. Here's an unscientific, just simple poll. Who will you vote for, Trump or Kamala?
They're just people that follow him, of course.
People that follow him, which is a billion people or some shit.
Right.
Or 57 million, I think. And so 6 million or so voted.
Wow.
And Trump...
It's better than our poll.
Our poll was 4-3.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Flashback to good old season 1. We learned that those types of polls were not what
work.
People are looking for when they
That's not the right poll.
When they Google a podcast, they don't give a shit whether a hot dog is a sandwich. When you start to love us, you might care.
You might care, yeah.
But Trump won this thing 73%.
Wow.
And of course,
and that was 6 million votes.
That was something like it was between 5 and 7 million. When I saw it was at 5, and
it wasn't like 10 people more than that.
And then people came at me. I said, "This is definitely better, a better sample size than the quote polls that the Democrats toss around or the Republicans toss around, where they don't have a source. They're like a new source says that Trump's leading by this or that Kamala's leading." Even the source is 1,000 people in one area code. Well, they're probably kind of like-minded in that.
But all in all, I mean, how many?
You hit that mic one more time. We're gonna have.
I thought you said we were gonna have technical difficulties.
You're gonna be put back in the white chair.
Don't do that. Okay, I won't do it.
Okay, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I mean, how many do you think are actually registered voters in America? I mean, I'm sure he's got worldwide.
For Elon?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got some worldwide.
Most of the responses were.
Well, I'm not gonna say that's.
This is a global.
That's not gonna skew it that much, but I would assume.
Well, my response, and this is kind of a quick thing. My response to these people. So let me just start.
What do you mean by these people?
These people. Oh, these people are. Come election day and Kamala wins, you'll be crying. But Elon's election poll on Twitter.
What's with the accent?
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Sounds like some John Travolta stuff going.
And this Marissa bitch.
Ouch.
I can tell you've never taken a statistics class in your lifetime. Well, it turns out, Marissa, that I went to a university that's known for engineering, and I got an A in statistics. So
did you?
Fuck right off.
Well, plus you watch a lot of football and stuff like that.
We're very good at stats when it comes to athletics.
We're in a fantasy football league.
Trust me. We look at plenty of stats, Marissa.
Yeah.
And then this source is a global poll. So what you were saying. And I'm getting these comments. This is kind of one of them. Size is meaningless, which...
Thank God.
Jeff Melton.
Thanks, Jeff.
We agree there.
Yes.
But you unfortunately kept going. If the sample isn't representative, if you don't understand why people who saw and responded to Elon Musk poll isn't a representative sample of Americans, and he came and typed, and at that, not even only a sample of American citizens, maybe you should try to figure that out with educating yourself. And you know how much I hate when people say that. Don't tell me to educate myself. I know what I'm talking about. Kind of. What I'm saying is simply put, and see if you agree, and we'll move on. Because these were the butthurt comments. I mean, it was that kind of shit. You don't understand how polling works. Well, so you're like a professional, this guy. This guy's name is A Fool in the Rain, with a picture of some sort of logo from a minor league team. You know how polling works? You got it. You got it all figured out, you dumb shit.
Well,
you see my problem with responding to people. Here's go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, now, I would hope that it would be also, or how was I going to say it? I hope they would be just as critical as, let's say, for instance, like somebody like a Tay-Tay. She does a poll. Same thing, same results, probably more so on the Kamala side. So worldwide people.
Sure.
So hopefully they had the same criticism.
There have been plenty that have done stuff like that.
Right.
But they don't view them as worldwide as Elon.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Taylor Swift's going to get some votes from Canada and Australia and Europe and plenty of places. Same with Elon.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of want Taylor or somebody that'd be interesting. That many people to come out on Twitter and say, I'll do it from my end and let's see.
Yeah.
Really see. And a lot of people are blaming the bots. And it's all bots. It's all this. My point, people, was that when you have 5 to 7 million votes, this isn't 1,000 people in one county.
Right.
In the same county. This is worldwide. Well, I thought that Donald Trump was hated worldwide. 73%. Well, there goes that argument. He's either not hated worldwide or these were a lot of American votes. So which one is it, people? And
But again,
even if there were some bots, it's still 5 to 7 million people. This is there's a cushion on that 73%, and it's still probably going to favor Donald Trump.
All I'm saying is if they're going to be critical of this, which I understand they can be critical, do the same thing if Taylor Swift were to do something like that. That's all I'm saying. Be fair on both sides, because I'm sure that the numbers would be swayed the other way if it was Tay-Tay. So,
and I'll admit it. You heard it here first. The people on the right would be doing the same shit. I'm sure I'd be like, that's Taylor worldwide, and she's a pop star. Who gives a shit? I'd do the same thing. I'd be right. These people aren't. That's the difference, Trey. But that was some of the butthurt comments, and it was on all the same. Yeah, man. The polls of Elon Musk are definitely neutral. Those who follow him are known to be dim voters. Well, dude, the people that like Tesla and all these things are usually left wing people who want renewable energy and all this bullshit. Elon has a left leaning following,
right?
So. He's not right. This isn't like all the right wingers are voting on this. There's plenty of lefties that follow Elon Musk. So don't sit here and tell me that he's not a neutral guy. So anyway, that's it. One more. Elon Musk followers are not all Americans. This vote makes no sense. I've already established it. Out of 5 million votes, enough's there. Enough is there to tell me that
it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and that disparity, like 50% difference right there, 45%, whatever it is, that's a lot. That's not like it's not like it's 3%, and we're going So that was by her comments. Everyone just calm down. I mean, I know that you're upset that Elon Musk did a poll in your candidate. If Zuckerberg did it and it was, you'd love it.
You think Elon would put our question up to see how many people would vote that if a
hot dog sandwich? I'll get a hold of him and see what it does. What I want to know is when that Zuckerberg Elon Musk fight's going to
I haven't heard anything about that.
They were supposed to do.
When that's supposed to already
happen. Aren't
they
both martial arts? Anyway.
Sure.
So that's butter comments. Let's do some news. And we gotta do it. My man,
Mr. RFK Jr.
Is that you?
No.
Okay, we're in a new house, people, so there's some weird noises. Ignore it. I apologize.
It's coming from over there.
I don't know if it's some motion sensor bullshit. Just ignore it if you hear it. We promise it'll get better. As Trey just said, RFK Jr. comes out today. It was predicted yesterday that he was going to do this. In a way. He came out and he said, hey. Wouldn't that be something?
Hey.
Right, hey. Right before he endorsed him. He comes out and he says, hey, I'm going to step back. I'm no longer Democrat, as we knew. He's running independent, or he was. And he said, I'm gonna suspend my campaign and endorse and get behind Donald Trump.
Why did he suspend? Just not.
And why did he what? Oh, because he felt that he was taking votes from Donald, that people were so into him and they were going to vote for him, which I don't disagree. I've had more people come up to me in a parking lot that were RFK guys going, hey, we got to find a way to stop this bipartisan. We got to get a third guy in here. This is ridiculous.
I mean, I wanted to hear him in the debates just to see what he sounded like. So
I did too. And so he's backing out and endorsing Trump, which is I don't know how rare that is, but to have a third candidate like that be an independent, which I am, and you will soon be. By the way, I changed my address, so I had to resubmit to re-register to vote.
Really?
It's not hard, so let's get you done.
Okay.
You need to do it 30 days before the vote, so you have till October the 5th. Why don't you go ahead and do it earlier than that?
Is there a website?
Yes, it's very easy. I will show you. And again, Trey's still up for grabs. Democrats, you can convince him.
Well, what about Perot when he ran? Did he stop and endorse the Democratic or Republican?
I don't think he did. I think he just
stayed independent.
I think he was in the debate. I think he just ran. Yeah. I remember seeing he was one of the highest independents totals. I think he had like 8%, which is not a lot, but it's a lot for independents.
It's funny you say high because he was really short.
Well, he was a short guy, but so this is big. RFK Jr., who's
endorsing Trump,
he'll probably take most of his people and say, all right. And his reasons were this: he really wants free speech and he feels like the Democratic side is censoring a lot, which they are. I mean, Elon came out and did a thing where he proved with his screenshots on a video where he Googled Trump, and it wouldn't pull up anything Trump. It pulled up Kamala. It pulled up all these other things.
That's weird.
So Google apparently might be. Google, don't yell at us. I'm just telling you what I heard. Calm down.
Interesting.
So he believes that's kind of happening, and that there's, he's pissed about the war in Ukraine, which we've said a lot. I'm tired of paying this asshole. He got lots of our money, lots of that Joe thought was his. Use it for something and then leave us alone.
Yeah.
This isn't our deal. I don't like Putin either, but doesn't mean I'm going to give you $350 billion or whatever the hell it's up to now. And then the other one was war on children right now. He believes that which we talk about a lot in the trans issue with the war on children,
right?
And bringing children into this and having them talk about hormone therapy and transitioning and all these things. And he's frustrated by that. He doesn't think it should be. And look, I'm with him. I liked this guy. I thought I would have voted for him if he was. It would have been a lot harder to not at least think about him if he was the Democratic candidate, because he had a lot of neutral views.
So you're saying Democrats are pushing to allow kids to have this hormone therapy, to have changes made to their bodies and stuff like that?
There's the new law in California where a school, if a kid says he wants to transition,
well, California's their own retarded state. Go ahead.
Well, there's
say it. I'm sorry to interrupt. What is California doing now?
You just offended so many people.
Sorry.
Everybody in California, plus anybody that is special. We're supposed to not say the R word, but Trey just right out there.
Oh, okay.
No, hey, it's stay in the gray, Trey. You say what's in your soul.
The soul.
And you just said the word retarded.
Oh.
Which is whatever. California passed something, and a lot of states are passing it to where you can't tell the parents if a student comes out at school and says, "Hey, I want to transition."
Well, see,
and that's bullshit to me. I don't care. These are the parents. Go ahead.
Well, the only thing I worry about is there's always that circumstance, and that's why it sucks with all these views, because there's always that one circumstance. I mean, think about if you're a child that's fighting this mentally, whatever the case may be, is that you're fighting these thoughts mentally. Let's say you have some shitty ass parents, that they may not be for it, but they may beat the shit out of the kid if they think they're wanting to go that way. So, I mean, I can see it there where you're trying to protect the college.
But that's not up to the school. That's not teachers, in my opinion.
But here's what I'm saying: you want a safe haven for a child to be able to discuss something like this, especially with the mentality it seems like these kids have these days.
Okay, school therapists, fine, you can do it, but I still think that the parents shouldn't be left completely blind. If the student says, "I don't want to tell my parents because I'm worried about physical harm, mental abuse," then you talk to, what's the name of the people that come and get child protective services or whatever.
But I mean, you think about it that way. Okay, you get child protective services. I don't know the procedures behind it, but like, what happens when that poor kid ends up back in that home? It's like, oh, now I'm going to whoop the shit out of you.
Well, I know. There's always extenuating circumstances, but I don't want our children involved in transitioning period.
No. I get that. I'm not saying that a child should be able to transition, but I feel like a child should have a safe haven to be able to talk about those feelings without worrying about repercussion from a shitty ass dad or abusive mom at home.
Well, I think that what I'm talking about is that if the student actually wants to start hormone therapy, they're going to support it and not tell the parents.
See, that's not the way I read it. I just read it.
Okay, and I may be wrong.
Just like what you were saying is like, if they say, "Hey, I want to be known as a transgender,"
you're not going to send a note home in the binder that says, like, "Hey, your kid wants to cut his dick off."
Billy came to me today saying he wants to be a her.
He wants to know what it's like to have a clit. Yeah,
right.
None of that.
No.
None of that. None of that.
That's the way I read it. It's just
I'm with you. I think you're probably right, but his point is that the doctor that you did a story one time about a doctor asking an 8-year-old kid,
how do you identify, what's your pronouns or something like that. Yeah.
And so what Robert Kennedy Jr. is saying is that I want children to be safe and left out of this. This is chaos right now, and that was his big thing. And he believes the left has gone insane when it comes to the children. We've done plenty of stories where the children are involved. His last ones are he wants to bring manufacturing back. He believes Donald's the kind of guy, the business guy, let's bring it back, which Donald has been platforming on. And lastly, he wants to protect the value of a dollar, and he thinks Donald is clear and cut, which I agree with completely. Obviously, economically, the superior choice as a business guy over Kamala fucking Harris.
Let me bring up a stupid opinion.
Go ahead.
When these politicians, obviously, I'm assuming because I heard something about how Kamala doesn't care about America. So I don't think that's completely the case. Maybe what she does make certain people feel like she doesn't give a shit about America, and I can understand where they come off that. Has a politician ever put ego aside at any point running for president where they, okay, so let's say Kamala wins, but she knows Trump is a better businessman, to where they reach out to that other person and say, you know what? How do we fix this? Trump, what's your ideas? How can I implement this shit?
That might have happened a long time ago, but I guarantee you it hadn't happened in the last 20 years, you
think?
It may have. I mean, Thomas Jefferson might have reached out to fucking John Adams and said, hey, tell me how you did this. In 1789 or whenever the hell that was. No, the 89 was George Washington. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying?
But I guess, both of them give a shit about America, obviously. So it's like, why not put egos aside?
Here's what that means. What people are saying about that is that, first off, globalization. The left is known right now to be more about globalization, giving money to Ukraine, being a part of NATO and like paying all this money, part of the Paris Accord, which you talked about, climate change. Donald doesn't want to be bent over when it comes to finances. And all of a sudden, you've got all the Democrats that are all about it. Let's all come together as a world. Well, we can't. You just can't the way they're doing it. It's like monopoly money. So that's one reason that people say we don't care about America. You just care about being globalist.
So when you say bent over, real quick, I just want to say, are they making America pay more money?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So why don't they split the pie evenly?
That's
the problem.
Thank you.
Is that
that's the problem.
Gotcha.
And from what again, the Paris Accord is the best example I've got. We're paying $250 million or something to be involved, and then the two top polluters, because this is a climate change deal, India and China had a deal where they didn't have to pay a penny until next year, actually 2025. But this was in 2020 or 2018 or something when this was established. This deal they made, but we're paying so. Donald said,
are we paying more in order to have more influence on what happens in this thing?
I don't. As far as I know, I mean, all I know is when Donald was elected in 2020, he said,
"Yeah, I remember that.
We're out," and everyone goes, "He doesn't care about climate." Nope, he said it over and over. It's because we were getting bent over financially, and so that's what RFK is saying. He goes, "I trust Donald with our money, and things were better." Look, before COVID. And we can say it all we want. The gas prices, the grocery prices before COVID, go look it up. It's not. We're not making shit up. It was phenomenal. Gas was $2 something again. It was insane.
Yeah. And
then COVID hit, and nobody knows how to handle something like that. No one's been through it, and so Trump could have done things differently. Anyway, so. Did that answer your question at all?
Yeah, and I'm just trying to understand because, you say we're bent over, and I was just curious, as far as that money is concerned, did that give us more leeway to push certain decisions a certain way because we were paying so much money?
Well, if it did, is it worth it on just something like climate change? If we're talking about something maybe larger scale, and that depends on who you are and on how important you feel climate change is. But it was just an example of Donald not taking anybody's shit. He's not going to let the world take advantage of the United States. Is the idea?
Gotcha.
Kamala doesn't love the U.S. The other reason is that she's pushing for a more fascist, more communist type of government, which ironically they're saying Trump is.
Right.
Factually, they're the ones pushing it. They want more central government. That's not.
So they want to bring power back to just
federal.
that president. Oh, okay, gotcha.
To one country versus we're a constitutional republic. What that means is distributed power through the states. That's why we have states.
Gotcha.
Trump is doing that with abortion, with all these things. That's the opposite of fascism. That's the opposite of communism. they talk about we got to save our democracy. Well, they're the ones not saving democracy, but nobody does the research. They just blah blah blah. And so I think that's what RFK Jr. is saying. It's kind of like Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, we talk about her. She's. I think she would have been a great VP. I think RFK might have been a great VP pick. I think I said that back.
Yeah, you did mention that.
A long time ago. But
let me ask one question. If do you think he would? And I already know you think he's going to be a landslide win anyway.
He probably won't be a landslide, but I think it'll be too obvious to overturn.
And I'm going to throw the one policy.
That's a tough word.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the word for it, but I would say the one policy I would think a lot of people are right in that middle area is abortion. Do you think if Donald Trump came out and put Roe v. Wade back into place, do you think it would automatically just be, here you go?
That's a fantastic question, and I think you're right on. I think if he came out, the problem is you lose maybe some people where that's their number one, which is pro-life. Christians, and you lose some of them maybe, but are they really going to be that upset enough to go completely to the other side? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that doesn't give Kamala votes. That might just give Donald a few less on his side. But it takes a ton of people.
I'm just curious.
I think you're right.
Just like that.
That's the only thing they're running on, Trey. And I was going to talk about it here in a second, because we'll talk about the Democratic National Convention. One of the things that they're running on, that all they have is the Roe v. Wade situation. Mm-hmm. My body, my choice, all these things. That's the only big platform that people seem to be tossing out.
But I mean, it's big though,
It's big, But again, it's distributed to the state. It's not like Donald said, "Hey, this is a federal thing," and that's the difference. People are like, Donald Trump. No, it needs to be state-run, and there are states where it would be overwhelmingly in favor of no abortions. It would. I mean, there are states, whether you like them or not, a state like Alabama is probably going to be overwhelmingly. I would say 80% would say that they're in favor of an abortion ban.
So do you think? So then, okay, let's say.
And I could be wrong. What should be like 30%?
So Trump wins the election. So would you say in Texas that they would need to focus on getting a Democrat into the office to get that overturned?
It's you're going deep.
Is that how they would have to fight that? Is to
right, or they drive to the nearest state, and that's where it gets tricky. And we talked about offshore abortion ships. They had abortion trucks at this DNC convention.
Oh, wow.
To prove their point. 25 abortions apparently were reported. And again...
during the convention?
Yeah.
Are you real? Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah. And I'm surprised I didn't have that as part of our show. But
wow.
I just remembered reading that somewhere. And if it's a different number exactly, let us know. But it's something. One is enough at the convention, like in a truck.
Because that almost seems, because I am pro-choice, and I think that's super. That almost makes it seem like a joke, when you have abortion trucks at the convention just to prove a point. That seems very.
Well, it seems like you're like pro-abortion, like you want them to happen. There's a difference between being pro-choice and being.
Because I feel like that's a very.
Let's just to prove our point. Let's have abortion.
Because I feel like that's a very intimate decision that has to be made, and I know it's not an easy one. So
and I believe that the fathers should be involved in it unless they don't want to be.
Right.
And so to sit here and say my body, my whatever is, look, that's great. I'm impressed with women and their ability to give birth, but the it's not our fault that biologically we're not able to give birth, but we what's in there is still part of ours.
That's true too. That's true.
Well, but we've had this talk, and notice how when we do a quick story, it always turns to abortion. I think we need to have a woman in here. I'd love to have a woman on each side. Yeah,
that would be interesting.
And Trent, I could just sit here and watch this, and maybe they'll be hot. Let's move on. But he talked to. he talked to Trump, and they talked about having this like unity party, which I really like. I've talked about this before. It allows everyone to disagree rationally, these kinds of things, and he liked it. And so Kennedy's whole family, they're all Democrats, are all from Massachusetts, bitching at how we're disappointed, and this is tough on him. And he said it's tough on my family. I'm getting shit. My kids are getting shit. He's married to Cheryl Hines. You know who that is? She's kind of hot.
The ketchup lady?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go to the next story. No, she's an actress, and she's odd. She's got like this look. But good for him. And so they're having a hard time, and he said it's worth it. So take that for what it's worth. News story number 2. I promise they're not all going to be this long, but there's a gentleman, and apparently all we have to do is be one of the best soccer players, footballers, if you will, in the world to have success at what you and I have been trying to do, which is establish a platform or establish a following on a platform like YouTube, TikTok. Do you know who Cristiano Ronaldo is?
Yeah, I do.
You do, because you're now all into football.
Oh, I thought he was one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No.
Which color headband did he wear?
He would definitely be purple.
Cristiano Ronaldo. That sounds more like whatever. He is a soccer player, you know that.
Oh, okay.
And he played for Man U, then he went to Real Madrid. So these aren't like little teams. And Juventus, and then back to Man U, and now he's playing for Al Nassr, which is a Saudi team, which doesn't surprise anybody with the money they have. And he's obviously shined at the Portuguese national events.
Yeah.
So this guy he announced he started. Finally started a YouTube channel. Yeah, I finally started a YouTube channel. He broke the record for getting to 1 million followers, and it was within like 40 minutes or something ridiculous.
How many videos did he post?
19.
Oh, wow.
So he did 19 videos of only himself and his family. It wasn't like soccer. It was just like him, like, hey, here's my kids. And he had 1 million that quickly. He's got 15.4 million now. So this was within the last 2 days. 2.5 days.
That is fucking crazy.
And to put it in perspective, Lionel Messi, who I always thought was viewed as the best footballer in the world, only has 2.31 million on YouTube. Mr. Beast. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
I do.
Okay, good, because I don't, and I forgot to look him up before
He does
the show.
some funny, hilarious videos.
He has the record on YouTube.
Really?
331 million people follow that guy, or whatever.
That's a bodybuilder, right?
I don't know. No,
okay. Mr. Beast. I think that's a bodybuilder.
Maybe this is some person, you guys, like 40 people following him, subscribing.
Well, I've sent you some videos of a guy that I follow, and
we'll have our stuff better.
Mr. Beast, I believe, is a bodybuilder. He's pretty funny.
Okay, we'll look, but there's
in the UK.
Whoever Mr. Beast is,
I think that's him.
A YouTube channel that's 331 million followers.
Yeah,
so
he's pretty funny.
He's got a way to go. But Cristiano Ronaldo has the other platforms: 170 million on Facebook, 112 million on X, and 636 million on Instagram.
He needs to do a poll as far as
about the hot dog.
The hot dog is a sandwich or not?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Cristiano,
help us out.
I mean, come on, help! We're colleagues.
We need to figure this out.
Now we're colleagues.
Now we're colleagues.
We're influencers. You might not be doing a podcast yet. No. If you'd like to join us, we can do.
We'll do an interview with Cristiano.
We're willing to do remote.
I might let him sit on my recliner with me.
Oh, he's getting that. You're back in the white chair. But anyway, so that apparently we need to get good at soccer, Trey. Here's one that.
Hey, it's my turn.
Oh, you want to tell me a story? Okay.
Yeah,
tell me
I was after Ronaldo.
Yeah, I know. Tell me a story. Don't tell everybody our plans.
A Thai man was actually bitten on the testicles by a python while sitting on a toilet.
It's got to be Australia, right?
Bangkok.
God. How come I go from RFK Jr. to Cristiano Ronaldo, and then Trey's bitten in the testes by a python?
This is
Trey's
great.
story. Oh, it is great. It's just interesting.
He had to desperately beat it with to death with a toilet brush. Can you imagine that? It was a 12-foot snake.
Was it the brush or like the plunger?
He said it was hiding under the U-bend of the toilet.
12 feet?
He said, I felt something biting my balls. It was very painful. No shit.
Right.
So I put my hands in the toilet to see what was wrong, and I was shocked that I grabbed a snake.
To see what was wrong. I love that. I need to see why my testicles are just
hurting like hell right
absolute
now.
pain.
He said, I quickly stood up, plucked it out. I felt the pain really bad, and there was blood everywhere. I would have passed the fuck out right then. You know? I would have been out.
God.
A snake, blood on my balls. I'm out.
He was just taking a dump.
Yeah. So, yeah, he started
This is
whacking his
why-
snake, the snake in the head
Whacking his snake.
until it loosened his grip and died.
So he like just beat the shit out of this thing with a brush.
Yeah. Until it finally
it
let go
died.
of his balls and it died.
He killed a 12-foot snake with a
python,
toilet
yeah,
brush.
A toilet brush. That's
God,
pretty
he was-
impressive. While blood was coming out of his balls.
Can you just see this? Visualize this guy.
There's pictures, so yeah.
Oh man.
Not of his balls, but yeah.
My wife goes, "Why don't you ever want to go to like Southeast Asia and Bangkok?" And I'm like,
Now you have a
well,
reason.
now I have a specific reason.
Yeah.
That it was in that realm.
Yeah. I don't want to get bit in
There
the
are
balls.
things there,
Yes.
that aren't here. But anyway, yeah, that's a Jesus Christ. Your stories are great. Okay,
So yeah,
bit in the balls by a python. So every time now,
12-foot python.
people are going to go sit down on the toilet to do their business, and they're going to think about looking before you sit.
Exactly.
That's all Trey's trying to do on this show. We like to look out for your well-being. Is that right, Trey?
Sure.
All right. 2 astronauts. How about that? Got
One cup.
2 astronauts were now stranded at the International Space Station.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, so Boeing, who's having issues right now with their airplanes and now their spacecraft, they were supposed to be gone 8 days. They were Barry Wilmore and Sunita Williams, and this is the aircraft, or excuse me, the spacecraft from Boeing that's supposed to be kind of the transport spacecraft. It's supposed to just take people back and forth.
Okay.
It's kind of like, Uber. Okay. This is its whole purpose. And so it leaked helium, which is what provides the pressure to the thrusters.
Okay.
And it was only 5 of the 28 thrusters that stopped working, but people go, well, what about the other 23? But it's comparable to a tire blowing out on a car.
Oh, okay.
So it's not, it doesn't allow it to maneuver very easily. And so they got to the International Space Station, fortunately, but there's no guarantee they'd make it back. And so they're just there. So, they only had 8 days of clothing and rations, food, whatever. I don't know. Prepared, and so they're just chilling. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what.
One's coming back.
Did you?
Because they're probably gonna start eating the other one. Sorry, stay with me here. No, I heard Elon was gonna have to help out with something like this. Yeah.
Here we go. This is what's really funny. So they're trying everything to get them home. They are trying how to fix it. Okay, can we fix it? Well, it's using its battery as it's just there, and only lasts a couple months. So once that's done, you're out because you can't recharge it or whatever. I guess
they didn't bring a USB with them.
It's not USB chargeable.
Oh,
but they're trying to figure out maybe something else that we send up. There was going to be a 4-passenger. Maybe they can just send 2 and then take 2 back or whatever. But the best option is Boeing hiring SpaceX, Elon's company, to go and get them.
yeah.
And they're estimating by the time that all this is figured out, it's going to be well into 2025. So imagine planning an 8-day trip and you're in space. What are you doing? I mean, they have assignments, like just chilling. Maybe it's fun. Maybe like this is a good thing.
Damn.
It's not for their families, but can you imagine like
Without food, though, and stuff?
Well, I'm sure they have extra stuff up there. It's International Space Station.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like what was that movie with Arnold that was like they went to Mars?
Oh yeah.
It was so good. They did a remake and it wasn't as good, but dang, what was it? It was so good.
Shit, I
anyway,
forgot.
but I just wanted to tell the story because it's just like, all right.
Yeah, it's wild. But I think that's what people go into, whenever they sign up to go into space, I think there's always that possibility they're not going to make it back, right?
Sure. I mean, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It seems like now with the advancement, we've got so many weird things technologically that we should be able to make sure that our astronauts are safe.
Right.
But who am I to say? Lastly, tonight in news is a man named Jesse. It's KIPF, so Kipf? KIF?
KIPF?
Yeah, I bet the P is silent. I bet it's just Kif. But for fun, I'm going to say it's Kipf.
Kipf.
He's 39. He's jailed for faking death to avoid child support. So basically, I'm not giving you a news story. I'm just giving you advice, people.
Faking death.
So he's from Somerset, Kentucky.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He got 9 years in prison for computer fraud and aggravated identity theft.
A man in Kentucky got sentenced for computer fraud.
He accessed a Hawaii death registry system. He logged in with credentials of a doctor who lived in a different part of the U.S. Somehow he found him. So maybe there's some hackers in Kentucky. Yeah. And he created his own profile for being deceased. I don't know why Hawaii. I don't know if that's right.
He created a profile saying he was dead.
Well, it's a deceased record. So if anybody looked his name up, that's what they saw.
Gotcha.
Then he tried to steal other doctors' information so that he could sell it to people that wanted to do the same thing. So he got a business idea. He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, to see if it worked first, though.
See if it worked. So he was divorced in 2008, but he was in Iraq serving from 2007 to 2008. So I wonder if it was like a divorce that was like while he was gone, somebody.
So what did he get punished for? Is it for the faking his death?
Well, it's fraudulent. It was computer fraud.
Computer fraud.
He used that, and then it was aggravated identity theft. So he.
Okay.
I guess I don't know. Pretended to be that doctor or whatever.
So nothing about the child. The
child support.
Yeah, child support.
Well, I'm sure that didn't help.
There was part of that in there.
I don't know. I mean, what do you do? I mean, does he owe it now? I mean, he's not making money in prison, so I don't know. Maybe does that go down to family? Maybe anyway.
That would suck.
Who gives a shit? That guy.
He's from Kentucky.
Hey, it didn't work. By the way,
it didn't work.
It did not work. So on to our main topic. Our news took a while tonight because we were so full of information, like getting bitten on the balls. By a python.
It's important.
All four of my stories that were very newsworthy.
That was newsworthy.
Were nothing compared to. I said they were nothing compared. Now you look under your toilet. That's the most important. None of my stories are looking after you.
You have to look under your toilet on your stories now.
Speaking of toilets, let's talk about the Democratic National Convention.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you walked me right into that one. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have officially accepted the spot. What do you call it?
You know what would be funny? After all this, and they just like show up. It's like, I don't really feel like doing this. Wouldn't that be great?
Because they accepted at the end of the convention.
Yeah.
So all this hoopla hype, everyone getting all excited, and they're like, you know what? We've had a talk in the back room.
It sucks. You can keep Biden.
Yeah. We're not feeling it.
We changed our mind. Joe's like, huh?
Yeah. Joe was supposed to speak the first day. They're like, let's get him out.
Yeah.
He's done.
He's done.
But so they accepted, and everybody, of course, is talking about the crowd size. Donald Trump talks about his crowd sizes all the time, so I'm not going to sit here and say, of course, talk about your hype. Talk about the hype. There's hype because it's not Joe Biden, in my opinion, because they were fucked with Joe, and they knew that after the first debate. They knew that for a long time, and now there's this energy because they have
somebody that's coherent.
Well, I don't know about that, but she's more coherent. But what they have is elements that Donald doesn't, being a woman, being of color, 25% black, by the way, but Indian as well, having she's very, very far left leaning, and so it's just different. It's like the opposite of Donald, and so they're excited because there's this fresh vibe, and I'm still shocked at the amount of people that are willing to align with the people that are that far left. She's very woke. I've posted a few things where she's just like, yeah, we all need to be woke. The woker, the better. And it's like, that's scary to me. But she did it at the United Center in Chicago. So first off, it's one of the bluest Democratic cities in the country. Of course, there's going to be a lot of hype there. And it's also the largest venue of an arena out of them all. So the Blackhawks and the Bulls, and they play there. It's 20,000, and most arenas are 16 to 18.
Okay.
For that sport. So of course they fill it. If Donald did one at a 22,000, it would fill it. They'll fill it. And they're saying, look at the size of this crowd. It's bigger than Donald's. Well, Donald didn't do a venue that big. First off, I just had to get that in there. But Trump did one in Milwaukee, which is completely neutral. Wisconsin's a swing state. So Kamala kind of, in my opinion, and I don't know how they do it. I'm not going to lie. Maybe the Democrats set it up a long time ago. Maybe it's like college football. You plan your out-of-conference games 6 years in advance. I don't know if they set this up. But Chicago seems easy. It seems like Kamala stepped in, and it's easy for her to go rah, rah, rah in a place that everybody's cheering for you. Now, how are you going to do at a debate? And how are you going to do in front of people when they're not cheering you?
We'll see.
You look like you have something to say. Do you not?
Well, I was just curious because when...
See, I know you.
The Republican... whatever it's called.
National Convention.
There you go. That was right after the shooting or the assassination attempt. And
right.
I want to say they came out and I guess they mentioned, I don't know if this is an unwritten rule where the other party doesn't continue to campaign during the convention.
Oh.
And so that Biden was like, well, I'm not going to campaign during the Republican convention. But Donald's been out campaigning in the swing states during the Democratic convention. So I didn't know if that was an unwritten rule. I didn't know if that was
like commercials or was it like that kind of stuff? You're saying that you heard something where they ceased all campaigning.
Biden said he wasn't going to do any campaigning as a courtesy. Well,
Biden was looking
at the
for
time,
a reason to
and I don't know if it was because of the assassination attempt. He was trying to be sympathetic to that too. I don't know. I didn't know if that was a thing or not, but that's what I heard. So
one thing I'll give Biden credit for is that he did, I guess handle the assassination attempt with decency at least. I think that's part of it. He was kind of like, all right, let's back away for a minute. I'm not going to play an ad that I might have played that torches Donald Trump right after he was almost assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
And
so maybe that was more so the deal.
I heard that, but I just didn't hear that you're supposed to stop. Maybe that's kind of cool. Maybe it's like back in World War I where they said on Christmas Day, let's just kind of like chill for a little bit and have some dinner. I don't know. I haven't heard it. So maybe that's something we'll have to research. Maybe we should start writing the stuff we're supposed to research down so when they tune in to find the answer out, we actually give it.
We'll give them an answer?
But do your own research. Because that is a great question. I agree. But by the way, and I'll do this part really quick, there were protests there all over Chicago against the Democrats by the Palestinian protesters for Hamas against Israel. They blame Joe Biden's administration for not having a ceasefire in place. So here you are, and in a way they're eating their own, because all I know is that most of the left are the ones that are the kind of Palestinian, anti-Israel, the protesters.
Right.
And here they are at the DNC saying, no. They weren't at the Republican National Convention at all. No issues. Here you go in Chicago and the DNC, and there's riots and looting and protests and all these things. So real quick about the well, I've got it here somewhere, Trey. It's a new office.
Maybe they were pissed about the White Sox being horrible.
Yeah, the White Sox. But protesters breached the United Center wall on day one.
Damn.
And they ended up clashing with authorities near the Israeli consulate. So obvious spot. Some protesters busted into the events and put bugs in everybody the food, which to me is, depending on the bug,
that's a no-no.
Yeah, that's a no-no. Protests blocked traffic on day one. I thought this was funny. Get this visual. So on day one, it blocked traffic. The delegates trying to get to the United Center in Chicago had to get out and like haul it, just run because they were going to be late because protesters. So imagine these guys just trying to run.
Probably in a suit and heels and
of course then around the entire United Center was a huge wall because they love walls, right? And to keep protesters out because it was bad out there. And so but what I noticed and I just feel like there were so many paid speakers because they tried to get people up that supported what they were doing in Gaza and stuff like that. Did you watch any of it?
No.
I tried, and then of course you know me. I got the 20 seconds in, Olivia. 20 seconds. She was like, "Turn this off. You're going to lose it," because it was like Pelosi or somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but all I heard was constant bashing of Donald. It wasn't like we talk about. It wasn't anything about what Kamala's going to do. I heard them talk about medical freedom and abortion. That was the one topic they have. That's their big thing.
What's medical freedom?
Medical abortion.
Oh, I thought it was two separate deals. I'm sorry.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, it's all kind of in one. It's birth control, the IV, all of it.
Plan B, all that.
Sure.
Contraceptives,
and she was just so unpopular in the primaries. She got no vote. She dropped out. She was like last place, and all of a sudden you've got this United Center rocking for this girl, for this woman, and like, why? What? Which leads me to this. I'm gonna play you a video, and we're gonna. This is an example. I mean, people don't even know why they're voting for Kamala, right? We've talked about it. They say, oh, she's a woman, or oh, I hate Trump, or she's
a minority,
person of color, DEI, and so a lot of people will say, we've said it. Give us why you're voting for. It was back with Biden. Give us why you're voting for Biden without mentioning Donald Trump. And I didn't watch a lot of it, but every time I turned it on, it was just a Donald Trump bash session. So
that's why I keep going back to abortion. I mean, you put anybody up there that says, "Hey, I'm going to bring Roe v. Wade back." I mean, how much votes would you get?
I think you get a lot. I do. I think that's an issue.
So anyway,
but no one said it. So here's a quick little funny clip. This guy, you'll at the end of the clip, you may see his name, but he goes out and I don't have Trey and I need to go do this, but he interviewed everybody at the DNC, not everybody, but a few people who were all excited about Kamala. And so Trey and I are going to watch and kind of show you this just as an example of what we're saying. I mean, they're not, whatever. So check this out. It's pretty interesting.
Whatever.
I want to know, are you excited about Kamala Harris running for president?
Yeah, I am.
Absolutely. 100%.
I am excited.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
Honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say
Don't really know.
specifically.
I can't, I'm humble there.
I can't think of anything, specifically.
No.
I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know. I haven't really been following politics.
Okay, so she doesn't follow politics, yet she's at the DNC and she's like promoting Kamala. So I just thought that was funny. And as you see, I laughed a little bit. Trey didn't really laugh as much as I did.
I thought it was funny, but in all fairness, is that really all the people he interviewed? Or
of course not.
I mean, I'm sure he put a nice little video, which is funny. I mean, it's definitely pretty funny.
Well, it just kind of proved my point where there's just a lot of people, and I guarantee he could have kept going. It's just a lot of people.
I'm sure he could.
In fact, he did. I think his whole clip was like 18 minutes long where he was talking to some people and just asking them, like, what is it? Give me something other than bashing Donald Trump. And so I wanted to play it for you and just kind of see what you thought. And try out my new massive TV that's in here that you can't see, that Trey and I are going to try and utilize. So again, bear with us. This is all kind of an experimental show. So if you're still with us, celebrities showed up. Not the ones you'd expect. Like I figured you'd have the big names.
I heard Beyonce was there.
Well, she didn't do anything. She ended up not performing.
Singing? Oh, she didn't perform?
No, I don't think so.
I know Oprah was there.
I heard Oprah was the biggest in my opinion.
Gotcha.
So what I thought was funny is Oprah comes out and she talks about how black people are so this and that, and they're not privileged, and they need help, and they need this, and they need that. She's one of the wealthiest damn women in the world, and it's the United States. And her ability to prosper in this country that led her there. I mean, it's just bullshit. Again, give me policy. Don't sit here and talk about how black people have it tough and we should vote for a 25% black ethnicity.
Yeah.
A woman with a 25% black ethnicity. But you had Pink, who gives a shit. Eva Longoria. I mean, what is this? The list of like?
Oh, I like Eva Longoria.
Well, what is the list of late '90s, early 2000s?
Why not? Did they have NSYNC there too?
that might have sealed the deal. The one that I laughed at that I shouldn't have laughed at is Stevie Wonder.
I didn't see that
I
coming.
just feel like Stevie Wonder doesn't. Is that wrong? To feel that he doesn't know what's going on?
I'm sure he knows what's going on. He just can't see what's going on.
Yeah, he's listening, but it just, I feel like, anyway, he's been around for a while too, and it's kind of like, okay, where is your Taylor Swift? Does Travis Kelce have a little enough testosterone to keep her away from this?
Yeah.
Or are they saving her up maybe? But where are the big boys right now? Oprah's big, that's fine, but she's still not, she's not Oprah anymore, really. She's pastime Oprah.
That's true.
Who, by the way, had Donald Trump on her show and was like kissing ass.
Oh, really?
Oh, there's videos of The View that had Donald Trump on before he ran for president, and they were all hugging him, kissing him, and laughing at his
wow.
jokes. It's incredible that as soon as this man wanted to be a politician that went against their policies, not even against their policies, just said a few mean things, and all of a sudden this thing turned into just a shit show. So the other thing that came out today, speaking of the DNC, here's my video note. That's gone. The government actually lied, and it was proven. This wasn't... So go research it, people. I'm not just bullshitting you. It lied about the jobs that they've, quote-unquote, created. They were 818,000 jobs off that they claimed that they had added to
That's a lot of jobs.
It's a lot of jobs. And it was apparently something that was either overlooked or done on purpose, and they don't know why. But you can't give statistics like that are that skewed. My opinion. Just wanted to add that in there.
That's an easy statistic to keep up with?
It should be.
Because like Joe Blow's auto shop that hires 2 mechanics, I mean, is that easy to track?
They all have to process taxes and
that
all
makes
that
sense.
stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. And so it's not as simple as what everybody, jobs are up. They're up for the wrong reasons, people, and that's the issue. So here's something real fast, and this may go just over an hour. I don't give a shit. I don't care about your challenge. I've already won 2 of them. So people, hang in there. An hour and 10 minute show is fun. Real fast. And I want to know what you think about this. It's important. So the Tim Walz, we call him Tampon Tim.
We do?
We do. Because he put tampons in the boys' restrooms at school.
Gotcha.
He's the vice president selection for Kamala Harris. And he's been all jumping around like a silly man. And he's the one whose wife left the windows open while the city burned because it was something special that was happening. You remember that story?
No.
Okay, I won't do it for time's sake. But
I'll have to look it up.
The Minnesota riots, she thought it was something special happening, a kind of a revolution, so she left the windows open to smell it burned. Yeah, they're cool people. But Gus Walz, his son, who's 17, I'm not gonna lie, dude, this guy's kind of dorky, and I don't know if he has issues. I apologize, I don't know, but he's very emotional, and he was like just sobbing and wailing, just crying every time the camera showed him. I love you, Dad, and he's mouthing the words, and he came out and it looked like his dad had to yank him, like, come this way kind of thing. I don't know if he's got issues, but what it led me to was that he's getting torched. The son is? On social media
Why?
Because he would. You got to see the video.
He's super emotional.
I should have probably showed that one here, and maybe we'll show it to you in a different way. Maybe my guys can put something up real fast. But he I mean, just everything that Tim Wall said, his son was crying, just like, I love you. I mean, I'm not even going to do it because I will look silly. He looked like the
over
kid
the top,
and he's 17. So is that fair game on social media? Baron Trump, as we all know, was just he was attacked relentlessly by people who didn't like Donald. As a kid younger than 17, all the way up till now, he's over 18. But is it something that people should just immediately say, this kid's 17, let's just not lay off? Or is it fair game because that's what you're getting yourself into?
I think if you're going to put your kids on social media, I think it becomes fair game. But I would hope people would ease up when they know he's only 17 years old.
It's not him putting him on social media. It's him doing a Democratic National.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to put him on,
if he's going to be on
TV, if he's going to be on video, whatever, then unfortunately that sets him
leave
up
him
for,
home. You don't want him to be scrutinized.
Yeah.
And it sucks because
there's people out there that are going to scrutinize him regardless. So
this kid could be all right. He probably is. Like, his dad's a nutcase, and I really do believe he's one of the far left politicians that you'll ever see run. And what I mean by that, I won't get into it, is the wokeism, the tampons in the boys' restrooms, the things like this, the illegals getting driver's licenses. And by the way, people, when I went there to do my driver's license change today, it had a little box that said, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" I said, "Yeah." That was it. Trust. So anybody can go in there that has a driver's license, like I do, put it in there and check mark the box, and now I'm registered to vote. So don't tell me that the driver's license thing is not going to be a huge influence in the voting polls.
Did you have to print out a form and mail in?
No. Trey, it's Rick. You could do it here in 5 minutes before you go. Next show, Trey will be registered, people. Let's get that going.
Right.
But so anyway, his policies are far left, and I think he's bad news. I think Kamala's bad news. These are my opinions. Trey's still, again, I'll say it again, he's listening. You can see him, which is what we should all be doing.
I'm asking questions.
But I want to listen too, and so if somebody's got something to say, and respectfully, none of this Twitter bullshit where you're just telling me I'm an idiot, because
we already know that.
Yeah. I walked right into that. but I'm not, and what makes you, if you know something, let's talk about it. We're probably not going to change each other's minds. You're not going to talk to me.
Never know.
All of a sudden, you're like, oh, holy shit, you're right. It just doesn't happen, but you talk about it, at least you understand the other person's point of view. Like I said, back in the day, a Republican and a Democrat could go get a beer, talk.
They'd walk into a bar.
Walk into a bar. A Republican and a Democrat walk into a bar. It hurt. Did you get that?
No.
And so, but you could talk and be friends and go golf. And now it's like, what? He's voting for Kamala? Fuck him. He's not coming in our foursome to play golf. So, let's go away from that. But that's the update on the DNC. The debate is coming up, and Trey and I will definitely get ready for that. And did you know that Kamala turned down a debate, another one?
What?
Because
she was wanting to challenge him to debate.
Because it was Fox News. So Donald's supposed to do all these ones that hate him, but Kamala won't do Fox News.
Why?
Because she's. Think about it.
She hadn't said though.
No, she said she wouldn't. She said.
Well, no, she said she wouldn't do it.
It was too close to the other one. She said this was going to be on September 4th, so it would have been the first one. Maybe that was the reason. But the bottom line is that Donald went straight up against Joe on a CNN, a very anti-Trump. Again, to their credit, I thought they did a good job, but he walked right in there and said he gave in to Joe not wanting a crowd there. He gave in to everything they asked for.
The mute button.
And he did it. The mute button. And here comes Kamala saying, no, I'm not going to go because it's Fox News. Well, what a chicken shit. So we got September the 10th, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to football, but I'm also looking forward to this.
Well, speaking of football, am I allowed to transition?
Oh, yeah, let's do it. You know what? We're good. Let's do it.
I got a super important talk.
We'll end the show. You have super important.
Super important topic.
So fuck Kamala and all this bullshit. That's not important.
This is a list that I found. Super important.
I love Trey's lists.
15 NFL cheerleading facts that are anything but glamorous.
Hold on. Thinking of cheerleaders. Okay, facts that are anything but glamorous. Okay.
Anything but glamorous. So in terms of salary...
Is this in honor of the football season?
In honor of the football season starting up.
What is it, 3 weeks away? College-ish. College is 2 weeks.
This weekend, actually, college starts.
Anyway, we're all analyzing.
Maybe not your team starts, but there are some college football games, I think, starting this weekend.
So, oh, my God. Here we go. So in honor of football, cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders. Facts that say it's not as glamorous as you think. So first one, and I kind of read through these. I thought they were all pretty good. I didn't know NFL cheerleaders typically make an estimated only $150 a game.
I knew it was low, but I didn't know it was that low.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it for 75.
And get to watch the game and everything right there on the field.
The players hit on you.
Rules and restrictions. Oh, I'll talk to you about that one.
Okay.
Rules and restrictions obviously vary by team, but it's common for cheerleaders to have very strict dress codes. Extreme cases include not being permitted to wear sweatpants even on their day off.
So it's like the reverse of an office. So they can't wear more. Oh, you're saying on their day off?
On their day off,
they have to represent.
Exactly. So they can't even wear sweatpants.
Well,
in most cases, uniforms, they have to pay for their own uniforms, which aren't cheap. It says and basically hundreds of dollars must be paid out of their pocket.
You mean to tell me an NFL franchise can't pay for 12 cheerleaders' uniforms?
The cheer gear they have to pay for.
Jesus. Well,
that's crazy, isn't it?
I think it's crazy, but...
tattoos, we can skip that.
I mean, you're talking about quarterbacks making $40 million a year.
Right. Well, actually, I mean, Mahomes 50.
Mahomes
and I
is 50
think,
now?
somebody just signed for 60. Anyway, jewelry must be removed.
Who was it? Anyway, go ahead.
Jewelry must be removed. However, approved earrings may be worn on game day. According to the NFL Times, or New York Times, I'm sorry, NFL cheerleaders who speak out or complain about working conditions are told they can easily be replaced.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is hardcore.
This was interesting.
Sorry, you need to go to HR?
Right. On this one, we might. There may be regular weigh-ins depending on the team.
Look, I'm okay with that. And I'll say it.
As terrifying as it sounds, teams have specific rules in place to make sure that professional cheerleaders don't gain weight throughout the season. I'm going to stop you. Mark your place.
This is a conversation for another show with maybe a woman here, so it doesn't seem like two white boys. Look, I know I don't have a six-pack, but look, people enjoy and people are attracted to certain things. They just are. In the history of humankind, you're attracted to certain things. Cheerleaders, if you go back to when cheerleaders were established, they kind of have the same look all the way up until now. So if you gain weight and you kind of go outside of that box, should you keep your job?
How much weight is too much weight?
Well, it's up to the team. These are private-owned teams.
That's true.
And that's my point is you're privately owned. If it was the NFL and the NFL said, we have to have a trial... You have to have a meeting if you go over something, and we'll talk about strategy, weight loss strategy.
Because, I mean, it's not an NFL rule. Obviously, it's per team.
Yeah,
so.
And that's the point. So, can you see, God, we're going to lose everybody, all our big women who we love. But can you see big old Bertha out there, Jacksonville Jaguars, just trying to do spin kicks and stuff, and she's 250 pounds.
I'm just saying, it's not like we're going out and trying out for our favorite football teams because we know our limitations. So I'm assuming there's some very flexible women that are bigger than these cheerleaders. So, I mean...
Okay, so you're okay with the big women.
I'm just saying, I think...
That's fine.
I think
Good for you.
You know your limitations based on your physical... Anyway,
is it just about the act of cheerleading, or is it about the look? That's it. I mean, that's the question that you're talking about. You're saying that if they have the physical capability, they should be able to be a cheerleader, and I'm saying They need the physical capability, which makes me look like the asshole, I admit. But what I'm saying is if it's a privately owned team and they want their fans to go, oh, wow, we have very beautiful cheerleaders.
That's where,
You can't be 250 pounds. It's just not going to work.
And the team should be okay if they have a bunch of upset, heavier women.
That's true. Or if there's a team that goes super woke and says, you know what, heavy women are beautiful, they could have a whole squad of big girls. Fine. It's up to the team. Why are you laughing? I'm totally serious. Who would that team be? Okay, never mind. This is getting crazy. Okay. Because seriously, anybody listening that happens to be a big woman, and I'm not going to give you the line because the line can vary depending on other things. Personality. We love you, and don't go away from that just because of this comment. Go try out. Anyway.
And then
go. What's the next one?
Under no circumstances are cheerleaders allowed to fraternize with players.
I don't buy. I don't. Dude, you don't think that? Do you think that the cheerleaders are banging the players?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
That means no social media contact, no hanging out, and especially no dating. Interacting with players can lead to fines and even being fired.
No interaction.
Yes.
Not just like banging. No interaction.
No interaction.
So you can't just be like Facebook buddies or something. Look how old we are. How about TikTok followers?
MySpace? No.
Yeah, MySpace. Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess you're basically preventing the
drama.
The drama. I get it. Okay.
As a professional cheerleader, your personal social media accounts are under constant scrutiny. So any inappropriate photos, content are strictly prohibited. These are some big words on here.
I love how like Antonio Brown and these guys can go on and say whatever the hell they want and get away with anything, but these cheerleaders.
Well, I mean, the cheerleaders are only making $150 a game,
and they can't say shit on their social media. Anyway,
wait a minute, just $150 a game. How is it? That's still over $100,000, right? No, I'm retarded. We'll keep going.
Whoa!
My math is off.
At least you called yourself retarded this time.
Yeah.
150.
I'm stupid.
This needs.
I'm stupid. No, let's keep going.
No, this needs to be highlighted. Because you just.
I am pretty good at math usually, but holy shit, I can't believe I just said that.
I mean, that wasn't even.
That's not even close. Hopefully, our boys can cut this out.
No, I will specify it as a. This is going to be all over the shorts. Reels.
Oh man!
Trey, there are 17.
It's late.
17 regular season.
I know the math.
Do they get it for the playoffs, or they get like a bonus?
Probably not. Knowing this, they're probably not.
So I'm not gonna do the math in my head, but just to let you know, 17 times 150 is not what you just said
at all. And we move on.
That was fantastic.
Cheerleaders.
I would try out tomorrow if that was the case.
Shut up. Cheerleaders must keep the same hair color and style throughout the entire season.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I guess uniformity. I don't know. Not only are cheerleaders required to attend the cheer calendar shoots, but some teams force them to sell a certain number of calendars to fans before game time.
Before game time,
yeah,
so you have sales numbers you have to hit.
Apparently,
I don't want to
been approached by a cheerleader for a calendar.
Well, they do pretty well, I bet. If somebody came up to me and was just like, "Hey," and she was all dressed up in her
you would
outfit,
buy 3 of them.
Well, it depends on the calendar. If it was the big girl team,
this probably goes without saying, but tanning, hair, makeup, nails, all must be top priority. And again,
tanning,
hair.
But okay, I heard the other ones, but tanning. So they want them to go to the salon,
stay tan, yeah.
But what if that's projecting them to? I don't think that's the right word, but you know what I mean. To UV rays.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
And most of which they have to pay for themselves.
That membership's as much as the game. A salary.
No hair.
They're coming out negative on their money.
Exactly. No hair, makeup, retouches are allowed in the middle of the games. So no re-implying anything.
Right.
So depending on their contract, other NFL events outside of games aren't necessarily part of a cheerleader's salary. However, they're expected to attend all promos and photo shoots.
God, do they get paid for that?
They don't. It said it's not part of their salary.
Jesus. Okay, go ahead. When you get to the end, I have one question, and then we'll end the show.
Okay. One former cheerleader revealed that in addition
don't rush. Now you're reading super fast.
Standing for an entire football game, they were not allowed water breaks at specific times throughout.
What? So they can pass out from like heat exhaustion?
Pretty much. And our last one, some teams, and they pointed to the Bengals, prohibit thongs, panties, to be worn under practice and game day uniforms.
Well, now we have issues because I was fine until now.
You're pissed.
You cannot outlaw
thongs.
Trey and I are very pro thong for both women and men, I think.
Which I think most of the players don't even wear underwear underneath their uniform.
No, I don't think. I think it's just the cup, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see a cheerleader with a cup. Although these days we never know. And so my question to you is, why is this worth it? Because you're not making any money. You're spending money on your hair, and your makeup, and your tanning membership at Palm Beach Tan or whatever the hell it's called. You're not making anything. What's the point? Do you think that they think they're going to be influencers?
I think it's modeling exposure.
Okay. So it's a resume builder.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So these girls want to do something else with their lives, and then they end up as a cheerleader, and they can go, I was a Jackson. I keep using Jacksonville because one of the Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders followed us, by the way. I'm not joking. And I found out that she was legit. And so I keep
after all the shit we talk about Florida.
But so any team, you can say, hey, I was a Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader, and that got me not only dance exposure, but modeling and all that. I don't know, though. That's what else are you supposed to do? Like wait tables and bartend during the season?
I would hope they have something going on for them.
People recognize them, I guess. Maybe bars would. I don't know.
Possibly.
All right. Well, that was good, and that got me ready for football.
Did it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really notice the cheerleaders because my college team and my professional team don't have them. How did I end up with the two teams that don't? Now, in all fairness, Texas A&M has now added cheerleaders to other sports, and now they come out with the flags. But there's technically no cheerleaders in the sidelines during the game. They welcome the team out
during the game
with the tunnel.
Oh, you said during the game.
During the game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have never had cheerleaders, and
who cares? Move on.
I'm just saying, it's disappointing, and it's the one thing I'll say negative about my team. This is the Steelers. Is,
no cheerleaders.
No cheerleaders. But you have good ownership, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
But football's around the corner, everybody. So let's go. It was a fun show. Forgive anything that was kind of off because again, it's a different angle, it's a different everything.
Including me.
We'll get it figured. Trey's just about to go to sleep. He's chilling. Let me know if you like Trey in the white chair or in the recliner. This is Chillin' Trey. I think he was firing off some good questions. So maybe Chillin' Trey is good. That'll be your new name, Chillin' Trey. But let's end tonight with a quote.
Quoting Ryan. That was dumb.
And this is about love. And but it's really simple. Love is the only kind of fire which is never covered by insurance.
What the fuck was that?
And we'll see you next time. Love you guys.
Later. What the fuck? What was... What?
It's not in the policy.
It's not covered.
It's not covered.
No bias here, just the facts and the fair. We look at both sides, do our best to compare. In this podcast realm where we compromise, balance is key and the facts don't lie. Stay in the great where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride.
So we're going to Bangkok. Definitely crapping standing up there.
You imagine in a restaurant, 2 people walk in and we're just standing up taking a shit.
Did you not hear our story, people?
I heard you had snakes here that bit you in the balls, so we're not taking any chances.
At all.
Let's just not go to Bangkok. Is Bangkok on a world tour?
No.
No Bangkok. Sorry. You have to earn it. Love you guys.
Later.